Before we start this video, I just want to say please ignore my makeup. I've just done an Instagram makeup look, so I probably still have staining all over my eyes and all over my face, so please let's just ignore that and, you know, get on with this video. Hey Beauts! Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to do a video that has been very requested actually, which is to clear out my eyeshadow palettes and show you basically what my collection of eyeshadow palettes is. So I'm very excited. There is a lot to go through. I wouldn't say I have that many eyeshadow palettes, but I do have a few. Not as many as some people that I know, but it's a big collection, so we have quite a lot to go through. There are some palettes that I have never used before. There are some that I've had for years and I should probably get rid of. But yeah, we will see when we get over to those drawers down there. And yeah, see what I've got and see what I don't remember having. So yeah, let's go over. Okay, so these are my palettes. I've got this drawer and I've also got this drawer down here, but we're going to focus on this one first because this is the bulk of my eyeshadow palettes. And as I said, I don't have that many, but it's still a lot, and there's quite a few that I need to get rid of as well. So as you can see, my first palette up here is my Stacey Marie XL Pro palette. Now I love this palette. It's got every look that you would ever think about doing. So this would never leave my collection. Next we have got the N9A Always Golden Morphe palette. Now this palette, I got it in my Look Fantastic advent calendar, and I don't think I'm going to get much use out of this. So I am going to get rid of it, but only because I've got other palettes that can do the same job as this one. Next is my Beauty Bay EYN Bright palette. It's a very pretty palette, although, you know, I don't use it very often, but I'll keep it in my collection just because it is my first Beauty Bay palette, and you know, it's nice to have it with me. Next is the Colourpop Whatever palette. Now this palette literally is the best travel palette you can have. It has neutrals, it has shimmers, it has colour. It's got literally everything you might need in a travel palette. So yeah, definitely keeping this as a palette that I'll take with me whenever I'm going on holiday. Next is my Lauralee Party Animal palette. Now this is the only Lauralee palette that I've got. It is such a pretty palette. So I'm going to keep it just because it's the only Lauralee palette that I've got. Next is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. Now this palette has seen better days. As you can see, it has got badly treated shades, if I'm honest. So this is going to be leaving my collection ASAP. Next, we have got my Huda New Nudes palette. Now this palette was gifted to me by my boyfriend, and I will be definitely keeping it because it is an expensive palette and I do get use out of it. I just wish it was more long wearing, but as I said, it will be one that I am keeping. Next is the Jeffree Star Mini Breaker palette. I haven't yet used it, but I love it. I really want to use it, so I'm definitely going to keep it and try get some looks with it. Next is the Sample Beauty Immensity palette. Now this palette is absolutely gorgeous and it's just the perfect neon palette. Like, look at that. These are just neon colours and I absolutely love it. Next is one of my new additions, the Morphe 35i palette. Now this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It is such a beautiful, colourful pastel palette. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. It is gorgeous. So yeah, definitely recommend if you're looking for a colourful palette that's not too in your face. Sorry if you can hear the noise outside. I don't know what they're doing, but it's annoying. Next we have got my Jawbreaker palette. Now this is my favourite palette ever. It is a palette that I've reached for the most when I'm doing a look with colour, and I don't think that, again, this will never be leaving my collection because I absolutely love it. Next is my 35M Boss Moods palette. Now this palette, I used to use it more, but there's so many other palettes now that I've got that I've just stopped reaching for this one. Same with the next one I'm going to show you. But yeah, this will be staying in my collection because it's the only green based palette that I've got. As I was saying, I used to use this palette a lot more. As you can see, the box is completely broken, but this palette was used all the time. Although it does actually look quite new, doesn't it? But yeah, this palette was used quite a bit and I absolutely love this palette, but I never reached for it anymore, and I'm actually really sad because I feel like I should. And I think this video is going to help me see what palettes I need to reach for more. But yeah, this is definitely staying because I absolutely love it. Next is the Colourpop Mint to Be palette. I haven't actually used this palette yet, but it's absolutely gorgeous and I'm definitely going to keep it because I love greens and this is just pastel green, which I absolutely love. Next is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I've never used this, but I'm looking to create some makeup looks with it, so I'm definitely going to keep it so I can do that. Next is the I Heart Revolution Pizza palette. Now this is the first palette that was gifted to me, so I'm definitely going to keep that in honor of my first gifted makeup product. And it's also a very gorgeous palette. Let me just show you. That is such a beautiful palette. And there's some shades, like for example this one. Like, are you kidding? Look how pigmented that is. Like, what? That is a gorgeous colour. So yeah, that is staying in my collection for certain. Next is my Soph X Revolution palette. Now I love this palette. It's one that I use all the time and I always take this palette when I need a palette to travel with, but I can't take one that's too expensive. So yeah, this is an amazing travel palette as well. Next is my Revolution SFX Ultimate Paint palette. Now this palette I don't use very often. I don't think I've even used it. I bought it for Halloween, but I'm still yet to try and make some looks with it. Next is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Model Renaissance palette. Now I've used this palette quite a lot in the past. I haven't used it very recently, but I do want to start using my ABH palettes a little bit more. So this is P. Louise's original palette, which I used quite a bit when I was studying at the academy, and it's still one that will stay in my collection because it has the perfect basic shade. Next in the drawer is the Luna Beauty Life's a Drag palette. Now I love this palette. I used it quite a lot back in the day when it first came out. This shade has seen much better days. Don't know if it's gonna focus. No. Okay. But yeah, this one's been used quite a bit as well. I absolutely love this palette, so definitely keeping it as well. Next is the Dominique Cosmetics palette, and this is the Latte palette. Now this palette is just gorgeous. It has perfect nudes once again. These colours are stunning. I've used this before and I will definitely 100% use it at some point again. Next in this drawer is the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette, which is a beautiful palette. As you can see, this shade has been used quite a bit, same as this one over here, but yeah, these are just beautiful palettes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've actually destroyed a star imprint in a palette. I don't think I've done that to any of the other palettes yet, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous palette. Definitely keeping that. Next I have got my Deuce palette by Juvia's. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the last time I used this palette. I don't know if I should keep it. Now this shade is gorgeous, as you can see, like it's really pretty, as well as this one, but I just don't see myself wearing this palette anymore, so I do think I'm going to get rid of these ones. The same goes for my Zulu palette. I don't use it very often anymore. I don't remember the last time I used it. As you can see, like it doesn't even look that bad. Again, this shade is stunning. It's the pink to gold duochrome shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. But again, I don't use it enough to keep it, so I'm going to get rid of it as well. So the last two palettes in this drawer are the Lick and Lash Beauty palettes. And now this is the V2 palette. Now I don't think I've ever used this palette, but let's check. Oh, I have used it, but again, it's not a palette I reach for very often. I didn't even know I had this palette, to be honest with you. It is a very pretty palette, like that is very pigmented. So, I don't know, maybe I'll keep it and see if I can use it for future looks. It's very pigmented, so yeah, maybe I'll keep it and see what I can create with it. The final palette in here is the Lick and Lash 35D palette. Now this is the dupe of the Morphe 35C, I believe, which is this one. I use this palette quite a lot back in the day, but I don't use it at all anymore, and I don't think it's worth keeping this one because I have so many palettes with similar colours now, which I just don't think it's worth it anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. So let's move on to the next palette, to next drawer, and then we will sort the drawers out. Okay, so this is the other palette drawer. Now as you can see, it doesn't just have palettes, it also has other miscellaneous things. For example, these pigments, which I'm not going to go through as in terms of palettes, but I will go through the actual palettes in here. So as you can see, there's the Morphe X Manu and MUA palette. This palette is brand new, I haven't used it yet, so I'm definitely going to keep it and see what looks I can create. Next is my Natasha Denona palette. Now this palette I'm going to be creating a look with on YouTube, so I'm going to keep it because I really want to try it and see what my reaction is on camera. And then we have got the Jeffree Star Alien palette. Now if you don't know, this palette has been discontinued from the Jeffree Star website, but I did create a look with it today, so by the time this video goes up, the makeup look should be posted on Instagram, so go check it out if you haven't already. It's just at Tatiana Correia MUA, and yeah, there is a makeup look with this palette which I am actually very proud of. Next we have got the Morphe X James Charles palette. Now I've got to say, this is probably my most used palette before Jawbreaker came along, because just, yeah, it is an amazing palette and I love it. I just thought I'd show you the usage. So I just thought I'd show you the usage on this palette. Now this palette is absolutely filthy. I'm not gonna lie, this one has nearly hit pan because I've used it so much. Like there's a huge dent in it, as well as this pink shade and this red shade up here. But yeah, this is one of my absolutely loved palettes. So yeah, definitely recommend this palette if you don't have it already. So in here, I do also have things that I'm looking to get rid of. For example, this palette, definitely not keeping it. I am trying to get rid of it. Same as my W7 on the Rocks palette. Now in here, there's not actually any more eyeshadow palettes. The rest are just miscellaneous things that I need to sort out into the other drawers, but I haven't just yet. I'm going to organise these palettes back into their places and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what I've come up with to organise this drawer. So obviously I've got this drawer and this one, but obviously I've had to put the Morphe Money MUA palette, the James Charles and the Alien palette in this drawer because it doesn't fit in here no matter how I try to rearrange it. But yeah, I thought I would just show you the usage on my Jawbreaker palette because I think it's quite impressive. I have never hit pan on any palettes ever, but I have made dents in loads of stars. So this one has no star left, nor does Gumdrop, nor does Yum. I mean, wow, which one's Yum? No idea. So Cute, Gumdrop, Wow, Suck, Brain Freeze, Soaked, Licorice. Their stars are disappearing very quickly. So I think that's quite impressive. Especially Wow, like this one has a huge dent in it. I don't think you can see that. But yeah, it is impressive to me how much I've used this palette. I absolutely love it. Now, I just want to say they're not the only palettes I have got because as you can see, P. Louise Secret Sinner's up here, and then I've got my Conspiracy palette right there, Blue Bloods over there, Blood Sugar, obviously my mini Controversy as well. So there are palettes dotted around on my display shelf because I like the way it looks. I wish I could show you. Hold on. Ooh, I don't want to fall. So this is what my display shelves look like. So yeah, I've got some of the palettes that I love. Why is this so sideways? Hold on. Some of the palettes that I love have been displayed on the wall. Okay, so that is my eyeshadow collection and declutter done. I just want to say thank you for watching if you got this far. If you do want to see me do a sort of challenge where like a random generator picks a palette, picks the colours, etc., then let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. I've also got the like eye makeup drawers still to declutter and sort out because it is a mess. And it was in my last video and it still is. So yeah, if you want to see that, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and as always, my social media will be in the description down below. Subscribe for any future videos, and yeah, let me know what you'd like to see from me in the future, if that's a makeup challenge or if that's a random generator picture of my makeup, or if you want to see one of the looks that I post on Instagram as a tutorial here on YouTube, then let me know because I am so down to doing that. Yeah, I really hoped you enjoyed seeing my eyeshadow collection. And let me know how your eyeshadow collection is down below. What's your favourite palette? I will see you very, very soon in another video. Until then, bye!